Hi, I'm Natalie Hoffman with FlyingFreeNow.com. A woman asked me this question. I wish I knew if God would be okay with me if I left my abuser. I made a commitment and I take that seriously, but I'm not sure how much longer I can hang on. So I think the issue here is the God that we've imagined in our minds. If we imagine our God to be like abusive, controlling men in our life, then we will think that God has no interest in setting victims free, that he's only interested in controlling and manipulating them for his own purposes and pleasure. And indeed, there are many people who call themselves Christians who worship this type of God. This kind of God resembles a Greek or Roman God, like Zeus or Apollo, for example. Let's imagine that we have a lovely daughter who makes a mistake and marries a man who chronically mistreats her. Now, actually are human parents who would say, oh, well, she made her bed. Now she has to lie in it. And they would not support her if she decided to escape. I've seen this. Again, the kinds of folks who take this hard stand are worshiping a petty God, and therefore they are showing up in their own lives in the ways they believe their God operates. And when I use the word term God in these cases, I'm using God with a small g. But most of us would be heartbroken for our child if this happened, and we would do anything we could to help her get out of that situation so she could spend her life in a safe place where she could experience joy and meaning and personal growth. I think that is more in alignment with the God that Jesus Christ demonstrated for us during his life on earth, a God who offers grace and freedom, a God who is powerful enough to love and support his children in and through and after their mistakes. And he doesn't need to control and manipulate them to get his own way. I remember when I finally realized that God was for me and that he loved me and had a future for me if I would simply trust his love and let go of all the opinions of the humans around me who wanted so badly to take power and control over the one life God gave to me. That was the moment I was able to finally unhook from abuse. I had to unhook from a false abuser God first, and then I was able to unhook from abusive people and the abusive religious environment that I had been living in for so long. I know you've made a commitment. That's one of your superpowers. Most of the survivors I know are also the most committed and faithful humans on this planet. And divorcing their partner is the last thing they ever imagined they would have to do. But this desire that you have to be committed must be put to proper use. There is a dark side to being committed. We can be committed to things that are harmful. I know women who have been very committed to losing weight, so much so that they develop an eating disorder. We can be committed to fixing a home, even though it's full of black mold and really needs to be condemned. And we can be committed to a relationship that is hurting us and our children, and even the body of Christ, by telling a lie about who God is and what a healthy relationship should look like. So here's my suggestion. Take that superpower that you have of being committed and channel it into a deep commitment to trusting the love of God for you and a deep commitment to the woman who has your name. There is only one person on this earth that God has placed in a position of responsibility for that woman, and that's you. Are you committed to this responsibility? Will you be faithful to God's calling on you to take good care of that human being? When you meet a Christian who worships this powerful and loving creator God, you will never be the same. These people are the quiet world changers. And when you step out and follow this God, you too can change the world. And that change starts inside of you. Do you want more? Check out the Flying Free podcast on your favorite podcast app. And if you're not sure whether or not you're in an emotionally and spiritually abusive relationship, you can take the quiz by going to emotionalabusequiz.com. And if you're ready to deep dive into this work of developing your own inner strength so that you can make healthy choices for your future, consider checking out the Flying Free program for Christian women over at joinflyingfree.com. I would love to help you discover your new life.